If you buy and sell vehicles for a profit, or you want to, you're in the right place. This is the Flipping Genius podcast. Our number one goal is to help our listeners make more money. Every episode, we share information, ideas, and experiences of real-life car flippers. I'm Randy Lee. I'm the host of Flipping Genius. I've flipped cars most of my life. For over a dozen years now, I've been a licensed dealer. I am working to build the best podcast about successfully flipping cars for a consistent profit. Let's get to it, flippers. All right, so it's a brand new year, 2023. As I record this, it's January 4th, 2023. And as you listen to this, hell, it could be 20,050, I don't know. But if you're listening to them in sequence and if you're following along, then we're on the same page. And if not, that's fine too. But it's a brand new year. And for me, that means brand new goals. If you're like me, it means brand new goals for you too. However, I know that you're not just like me. Everybody needs to be different. Everybody needs to be their own. We all have our own thing. In fact, I was just reading the email from my friend Pat Flynn yesterday. I always call Pat Flynn my friend Pat Flynn because that's how it's recorded in my memory, thanks to Pat's marketing. And Pat was talking about yesterday about exactly that everything we see differently. He quoted somebody, I can't remember who he quoted, but I'll quote Pat because he's the one I heard it from. And he said, we don't see things as we are, we see them as we are. I thought that was quite insightful, and I think it's absolutely true. I have a meeting with a handful of gentlemen every Wednesday morning to study the Bible together and talk together. And it's very fascinating to hear what each of us think as we discuss the topic at hand, because all of us come to it with different angles. It's very, very insightful. In that instance, we're talking about the Bible and how it affects our daily living. But it also, we're all in business and we talk about that too. And it's very interesting to hear how our different insights hear the same exact words and perceive them, and it's very beneficial. So we don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. And Pat's insight was just telling us, those of us who are on his email list, you do you. And if you're not a subscriber of Pat Flynn, I highly recommend him. He's been very beneficial to me and most of the people that I know who are in this world, this podcasting world, the YouTube world, and frankly in business just in general. What a big help he's been to people, I believe, all around the world. But regardless of where you're at, where you're trying to get to, it's essential that you have goals. And I've talked about this before in the past. I've talked about it just recently. I'm talking about it again because I truly believe that is essential. I know that I've mentioned many times that you've got to have your goals. Here's mine. I've already got mine written out for the year. I changed my little diatribe that I live by. It's an old one. Plan your work your plan. I've used that same one in the past for the year. Last year, it was something different for me. But the idea being, as I said probably a few times in the last couple of weeks, if you don't have a plan, you're planning to. Those who don't plan to have a plan to succeed will fail. I'm losing that one, but you know what I'm talking about. Hopefully that it's essential to have a plan and to have goals, and I think it's essential to have them written down. But let's talk about that just a minute. We've talked about it in the past, but there's 5 things that you must make your goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. I'm just going to go over that one more time because it's just essential. A specific goal is absolutely essential. One of my goals this year is to read 50 books. Now, that's very specific. 50, 50, 50. Now, in my case, I allow myself to listen to books or read them, but the number 50 is very specific. Measurable, 50. That's a pretty measurable goal. Once I hit 50, I know it's 50. Now, with books, a book can be 1,000 pages or it could be, 40 pages. In my mind, they're both books, so that's cool with me. I'm the one tracking my goals, but the 50 is a measurable thing. So specific and measurable. Another goal that I have is a number that I want to hit weight-wise. I want to get to this specific weight. Very easy to measure that. You step on the scale. If it says the number, boom, you're there. Achievable. If I said I want to get down to 85 pounds, that's not achievable unless I'm waiting until I'm in the ground for a few years, because we know that's not possible. But it's got to be an achievable goal within reason in this period of time. Can you get to this? Can you make $1 million this year? Some people can, and that could be an achievable goal for you. And some people won't. And so if you make the goal outside of the realm of possibility, I don't think that's a good idea. So specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant. If the goal that you make is not relevant to your roles and goals, what you're trying to accomplish, why should it even be on your list? So make sure that you're making goals based on what you want to achieve, and make it time bound. In our case here, as we talk, generally, I'm talking about this year's goals, but that doesn't mean that you can't have a 10-year goal, a 5-year goal, a goal for this month. All of these things are important, and they are time bound. But if you have a 10-year goal, I also recommend that you break down a 5-year goal, maybe a 3-year goal, a 1-year goal, and then really, I try to break mine down into monthly and weekly and daily goals. I'm not working on every single one of my goals every day, but not necessarily, but I am keeping track of them so they don't get away from me, because they've got to be measurable, and they've got to be specific, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Those things add up to SMART, SMART goals. I didn't create that. I'm just passing it along for about the 18th time since we started the podcast. In fact, if for more about goal setting, goal tracking, and everything that I've done over my lifetime, really, that has benefited me enormously, you can listen to past episodes, episode 3, episode 50, and episode 98. And now episode 151, I'm talking about goals again. I probably talked about them in between too, but absolutely, if you haven't set your goals, written your goals, and started to plot out your goals yet, I encourage you to do it immediately. It's absolutely essential. It'll make you so much more happy and successful if you'll do this. I'm going to take a little break, and we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about how we can achieve what we're trying to set out to do. Be right back. Okay, we are back. You can tell because I'm talking and here's my face. Hey, I want to mention that if you are listening to the podcast, absolutely awesome. I love you guys for listening. Please save us as a favorite, but I want you to know that you can also watch the podcast. Spotify now has video podcasts, which is pretty cool, but our podcasts are also available on our YouTube channel in audio and video, and they're also available at FlippingGenius.com. That's FlippingGenius.com. Pretty much, I think the last 100 episodes of Flipping Genius are available on video as well as audio. The first 50 are just audio because I didn't have that capability until now. So if you want to watch, occasionally if something to watch other than just me, but people seem to be amused. So check us out. Every now and then you'll hear me refer to something and say you can see this or you can see that, and obviously there's some benefit to having a audio and a video version. I know personally when I listen to podcasts, I primarily listen, so that's fine. I try to make them the show as something that's beneficial either way, but I do want you to know that we are available on video now too. As we move into the year 2023, we now have video in full color. Yes. Now we're talking about goals again, talking about setting those goals, making sure that they're smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, and having them written down and ready to roll as you start a new year. And I want to reach out to you. I want to invite you to share your goals for 2023. I find this to be an extremely beneficial exercise when you share your goals with someone else, whether it just be with me or if you want to share them with others on the car flipping forum. It's I believe it's another step when you share your you step out in faith and share what you're trying to accomplish with others. It kind of puts some pressure on you to get out and get after it. So I'm going to do a little bit myself today, and I invite you to share with us either on the car flipping forum, which you can find just by going to Facebook groups and type in Flipping Genius. You'll find the forum there. It's free to join, FREE, free to join. Or go to FlippingGenius.com, FlippingGenius.com, and you'll find links there, many links there that you can join the forum and share that way. Or if you just want to share it directly with me, you can send me an email at FlippingQuestions@gmail.com and just say, hey, Randy, here are my goals for the year. What do you think? Or here's one of my goals that I'm trying to accomplish. What do you think? Or ask me a question. I'd be delighted to see it. If I get overwhelmed with questions, I'll tell you. But I don't think that's not happened yet. I invite you to share, and I'd be very interested to see what you're trying to accomplish, and I'll try my best to encourage you. And if at some point in time you want to involve us further, and become a flipping team member, a flipping partner, or a flipping champion, those are all ways that we can actually extend our services to you in a coaching and uplifting format to try to push you towards your goals and help you get there. But the first step is to share the goals with somebody, and we'd love to be at the front of the list. If you want to share your stories from this past year, what you did right or wrong, what you did that worked, I'd love to hear them. Send me an email, send me a message on Facebook, and if we talk about them a little bit, you'd like to share something like this on a future podcast, I'm sure everybody would like to hear that too. Anything that you've got that you could share that will help others. Our number one goal of Flipping Genius is to help you make more money, and I'd love to hear what you've done. Love to hear what has worked for you, what hasn't worked for you, and maybe what you've learned over the past year. No doubt we learn by making mistakes, by getting out and getting our feet wet in this thing, and it's an ongoing process. We keep learning all the time. I continue to learn, I guarantee you. And when you stop learning, you probably stop earning. So be happy to hear what you're doing there. Your questions, if you've got questions that you'd like to ask, reach out and send them flippingquestions@gmail.com. And any suggestions or requests you have, send those too. Those emails go directly to me. I read them, I respond to them, and I invite you to share those with me. I told you I was going to kind of practice what I preach and share one of my goals with you. I have I think it's 15 or 17 pages of tracking mechanisms this year for tracking my goals. Everything from how many miles I want to walk. I'll tell you right now, it's 2,000 miles I want to walk this year. I walked 1,885 miles last year. which was 85 miles past my goal. So I reached my goal of 1,800. That was one of the goals I set for myself last year. Didn't have anything to do with flipping cars, but your life has got to be more than just one thing, right? However, being able to walk 1,885 miles makes me a healthier cat, and that helps me be better at everything I do. So this year's goal is 2,000, and I have a lot of different goals in a lot of different areas. One thing I thought I'd share with you, one of the goals I'm really excited about, and again, I feel that by telling you about this, it kind of puts the pressure on me. And one of the things I love to do is write. I wrote, I've written several things. One thing that you may have heard me mention before is a book I wrote about the real estate business called The Secrets of Short Selling. I think I might have got my title mixed up, but that's basically the gist of it. Several years ago, and that was a instructional book on the real estate business. I've written some fictional things, and that's something I'm working on right now. Is a fictional book that I think will be a lot of fun, and I one of my goals this year is to write hopefully on a daily basis, and I'm off to a good start because I was specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's relevant, and it's time bound. So this year I have some writing goals, some specific writing goals about what I want to write, and also how often I'm going to write, and I'll be tracking that. And at some point in time, we'll probably be sharing that with some people. If you'd like to be in that mix, reach out to me. I'd be happy to share that with you. And if you've got some things that you'd like to share with me about your writing experiences, I'd like to hear it, because it's something I'm interested in doing. It doesn't, again, just specifically have anything to do with the car flipping business. However, do have plans to finish a book on car flipping this year too. So that'll be coming up, but I haven't started that yet. But I have started working on it's basically a comedy novel, and that'll be in the works. Hopefully be done by the end of the year. So that's just an exciting thing that I've said, boom, I'm going to do this. And I've got it started already. January 4th. I've already 3 days into it. I missed the first day. Didn't participate. Watching. Well, I did. I can't say I watched football that day because they had all the football games on January 2nd. At least the ones I count, the college games. But I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to set a goal that is specifically designed to help you make more money in the car flipping business. And here's the goal that I want to share with you, that I tried to think, what could I challenge you to do that will be universally beneficial to everybody who's hearing my voice right now. Because I think that everybody that's hearing my voice, except for my buddy Ryan, who likes to listen to me because he finds me amusing. And thank you so much for Ryan doing that, Ryan. I truly appreciate that. And anybody else out there who does that, I appreciate you too. But most of you out there are trying to listen to learn how to buy and sell vehicles better than you did before, how to flip and make money. And if that's you, then one thing you have to do is you've got to find deals, and we've got to find deals someplace. Now, I've talked about auctions in the past, and I continue to look for auctions, but I find my best deals generally come from other resources. Now, if auctions is your best place, that's fine. I'm not trying to dissuade you from that. But over the course of the past couple of years, I've found that personally, I find better deals buying directly from individuals. Now, some of you may be more specific in what you're looking for. Like Jeremy back in episode 17, who way back to episode 17, it's wild. But Jeremy likes to buy square-bodied trucks. And that's, again, I'll go back to that as an example. He's very targeted in what he's looking for. I do have a couple targets that I'm looking for now on specific vehicles. And so that's something that I will look at that differently than I'll look at my typical vehicle. Because as you know, if you've listened to the podcast before, I typically buy and sell vehicles that sell for usually less than $4,000, often less than that. And so I'm very specific in what I'm looking for. However, that's a very broad range. I have to buy them right, though. Absolutely have to buy them right. And meaning right, I've got to pay the right price, and I've got to buy something that is repairable. So I know what I'm looking for. Well, you know what you're looking for. Maybe you're trying to flip trucks, or maybe it's boats. I don't know. Maybe you are looking for later model vehicles, and you're in the $20,000 to $30,000 range, where I'm in the $2,000 to $5,000 range. Whatever you do, you do you. However, we all have to have something to flip. So my challenge to you is to set a goal on that, how to solicit the purchase of that raw material. And in my case, I want to have a weekly solicitation goal, at least, that I have to have. And I'm still working on this. I'm in the same boat as you. This is a goal I haven't written down yet. I'm coming to you right from the gut and saying, let's think about this together. I'll share specifically what I come up with on the next episode. And I'd love it if you would too. And I'd love to share some of your goals with other flippers all around the world in episode 152. Send it to me, or 153 if you take a couple weeks. Send it to me at flippingquestions@gmail.com. Tell me what your solicitation goals. Tell me how you plan to do it. If it's something secret you don't want to tell anybody, that's cool. I can understand that. In some cases, that's smart, because you're in a very specific, targeted area that you're competing with a small group. Believe me, I've got a couple things that I'm looking at on those lines, because there's money in that, and money's good. Especially good money's good. But for instance, let's say in my situation, where I'm looking for vehicles that are probably in the 10 to 15-year-old range, that I want to fix and flip for between $3,000 and $5,000, and let's say $2,500 and $5,000, and I want to walk away with between a $750 and $1,500 profit, then I've got to attempt to purchase at least. I've got to pitch at least 3 of these a week. I think that's probably about accurate. That combined with other sources, I've got to be trying to buy at least 3 of these a week. Now, I'm not going to buy all 3 of them. I'm not saying that I wouldn't. In some weeks, I'll wind up buying way more than 3 in a week. But you've got to be consistent in your behavior to find the vehicles that you need if you're working the market that I'm working in. If you're targeting old Corvettes, you might only need to buy 1 a year, depending on what your goal is. But you may have to make more attempts to find the raw material that you need to create the flip that you need. I hope this is making sense to you. If I'm not making sense to you, and you'd like to reach out and ask me, hey Randy, what the hell are you talking about? FlippingQuestions@gmail.com is another question you can send me. But I think you get the point. What my challenge is whatever this target is for you, take a look at it and figure out what a specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound goal could be for you when it comes to the purchase of that raw material. And it's going to be different for you than it is for me, probably. It's going to be different for me than it is for somebody in someplace else who's doing something, but it doesn't make it wrong. It has to be right for you. You do you. Again, Pat Flynn. Check him out. Pat does a podcast on the Smart Passive Income is the name of his podcast, and he's got a lot of really good things. So just somebody I admire and have learned a lot from. So I do recommend that you take a look at him too, because I think we can all learn from Pat. I continue to learn from him every time I hear his voice, I swear. So that's my challenge. I'd love to hear from thousands of you guys, but I'd love to hear from anybody that wants to share that with me. Uh, Share your questions, share your goals, share your stories. Love to hear all of it. FlippingQuestions@gmail.com, or you can send me messages through Facebook, through the Car Flipping Forum. This one's a short one this week because I want us all to get out there and start shaking the bushes, start making things happen, start making 2023 the best flipping year of your flipping career. Hey, please share Flipping Genius with anybody that you know that will benefit. Please save us as a favorite so you make sure that you see us. Please subscribe to the Flipping Genius YouTube channel. You can find us, just go to Flipping Genius on YouTube, or go to flippinggenius.com and find all of the links, FlippingGenius.com. Only one G in there in case you wonder why I keep spelling it. Flippinggenius.com, and you'll find links to everything we do. And send me email and tell me what else you'd like to hear, or share whatever you like to share. Love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, and hey, let's work together. Let's make some money. Let's all become flipping geniuses.